Okay, so this is part 2 of my last video, and it has to be divided because the company had came over and my phone was in the room and it shut off, and I don't feel like editing it and messing with it. So I'm just gonna upload that one, and then I'll have this one underneath it for part 2. But man, we are absolutely under the biggest assault, environmental assault in humanity. It's like the greatest and biggest assault amongst humanity. And what do I mean by that? Well, you could literally, first of all, you don't even have to do a really deep search. But, your grandmother or your grandfather, they lived, we just buried our grandmother. She was in her 90s, okay? They planted everything that they ate. They raised their food. They plucked the weeds out by hand. They didn't use chemical sprays. That wasn't even available back then, Their soil was so rich, and it was so rich and so deep and fine and full of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Okay. What I'm talking about goes back to God. Okay. Check this out. This is in John 15. It says, "Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he take away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring more fruit." Okay. "Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can you except you abide in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches, and he that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you could do nothing." So, it's talking about we could do nothing without Jesus, without our Father doing it through us. He is our life support. He is the root. He is our vitamins, and our rich vitamins, rich minerals, and our rich vitamins, minerals, and goodness. He gives us all of our nutrients that we will ever need in this life. And so, oftentimes we go out and we try to look for the imitation version, right? The processed version. But God is like, no, this is real. This is deep. I am deep in you. I am rooted deeply in you. That's what it says in Isaiah. So everything that I'm talking about, really goes back to Jesus and who he is in us and what we are in him, and the supply in our lives comes from the organic matter from the soil and the rich nutrients that we receive, the vitamins and the minerals and all of that. It's just absolutely wonderful. The sun that we need for vitamin D, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, it was all organic back then. That's why our ancestors were able to live so long. That's why there was not so much diseases. But over time, men in their own power thought it to be good to mass produce all kinds of stuff. Well, mass production results in failure and troubles and processed. You get all these things in the mail. Oh, you got to bring your car in because there's been a recall over and over and over again. Oh, this and this and this. There's a recall on this thing. There's a recall on that thing. Everything is mass produced. Everything is moving way too fast. It's a microwave generation. It's a microwave generation. We are living in the greatest assault that humanity has ever seen, pretty much. And so, that's the problem. The problem is we got to get back to kind of how it used to be. And even if you live in a condo, even if you live on the beach, or, you know, even if you live in the city, you can have a little mini garden. You can have some plants to put in your house. You know, you can't kill if you don't even, if you know, just the little changes can make a big difference in your life. You know, plants are cheap, and they bring in oxygen. And one plant that you could never kill is called a mother-in-law tongue. Go get you one, put it in your house, put it by your bed. You know, little changes create big solutions. It's amazing how God even made those plants to produce oxygen and the rich soil that it lives in. But anyway, so over the generations and centuries, our soil has been depleted, has been tainted with and depleted, and we spray everything. And, you know, back then they used to, how do they used to control ants? Well, they used to put, Irish soap, and they kind of thickened it up with a paste, and then ants couldn't survive in it, and it was a natural way to get rid of ants. Now everything is spraying. Spray this, spray that, buy this kind of chemical, do this thing. You know, we spray for weeds. Why do we need to spray for weeds whenever we used to, by hand, take weeds out? We used to take weeds out by hand for a reason, because weeds are really good, actually. But when you take them, when you pull them out, first of all, it gives us a workout, it gives us an exercise, it gives us something to do, but it also helps the environment. You know, you can even make natural solutions to kill weeds, right? You can make, there's natural solutions to kill weeds. It's not all about chemicals. But so why am I saying this? Because this is my cup. My bones, okay, first of all, it started with my blood issues. And if you didn't watch the first video, please go watch the first video, because it'll kind of take you into the history of it a little bit. But basically, I started having blood issues. I was about 24. And the reason why, I know now, like, so I'm still going to all these doctors. These doctors are like, oh my gosh, we don't know what to do with you. Well, I'm a complex situation. Okay, so let's talk about doctors, for example. Doctors are good and we need to go to the doctor. But doctors, a lot of doctors are conventional. It's a one and done deal. You go there, they hear you out, they throw you a pill, you leave the office. It's not about individuality. It's not about really getting to the root, quote unquote, problem anymore. I mean, some doctors, yes, if you go to like a naturopath doctor or whatever, which that's going to be my next journey, which I've been to him before with my mom. And yes, you have to pay out of pocket, but it's so worth it to understand this for yourself, you know. Even, like I said, and even if you just did one thing at a time. But so, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm on this thing called Black. It's BLK. It's Black Mineral Drops. It's liquid. It turns your water like brown. And man, when I say that sucker works, you drop about 15 drops, and it's not expensive. It's not expensive at all, and you can get it anywhere, in the stores or Amazon or whatever. Just doing that alone for yourself, even if you have no problems, could help you detoxify your body and your liver, and Yes, we at this time and in this time, we we have to detox our bodies from time to time, because we're living in the greatest assault that the humanity has ever seen. So yes, detoxifying is very good for you. We should all be doing it. We should all look into bettering our health, as not that we're gonna live forever, because when it's our time to go, we can't say anything about that. But for educational purposes and for your own health, and because of what you're going through in your own life, and I understand people who are not really going through any health issues. This is not for you, but I want it to be for you, because you can start now, because maybe in the future, if we're still here, you might be going through all of a sudden health problems. So even if you're not having health issues, this is really good information. But so this is what I discovered, is that no doctor can understand what's going on. And I'm almost 37 years old. That was since I was 24. So you do the math. I'm tired of it. And so I just been praying to the Lord, and he's brought me a couple of people in my life, and a couple of just bringing up my memories of what he was trying to bring me back 10 years ago. And there's no turning back. Like I said, I'm either going to die trying, I'm either going to die reviewing, researching, trying, and all these other things, or I'm going to live a little longer and continue to research, or I'm not going to do nothing at all and die. I mean, I don't have, that's the only options. That's the only options. And so my thing is, yes, Lord, I want to live. I want to see my children get older. But whatever your will is for my life, Lord, whatever your will is for my life. But he keeps bringing me back to this journey of learning about health and wellness and beauty, and understanding that it goes back to him. It goes back to the Lord. It starts in your mind. You know, stress is the biggest killer. Stress is the biggest killer. If you're under a lot of stress, that definitely can send you to your grave really quick. So living here on this earth is not about trying to get better and living your best life. It's about, if you are having all these complications with your body, and your liver is finally has had it. And by the way, if your liver can't even filter out anything anymore, it can turn into liver failure, and it's done, you know. So the thing is that some people may not understand these videos, and that's okay. But I know the people who has gone through what is going on with me, you know, type of thing all these years, they're going to understand this. It's a big deal. It is a big deal, and it should be talked about more in the church. And back then, you know, it was. Back then, you know, in Paul's day, they you know, used to help each other with not pharmaceutical medications. It was herbs and spices and essential oils. Okay, that's how they used to heal themselves. Pharmaceutical medication, let me just say this, a disclaimer. Yes, I do believe in pharmaceutical medications for certain alignments and certain situations at certain times. I'm not doubting that, and I'm not trying to sound like a wacko. But if we could kind of look at it as, let's get back to what our ancestors used to do. Even if, like I said, even if you just do one thing right now by buying a mother-in-law tongue and putting it in your room by your bed, that's like $5, you know. You start small, and then you just continue to make your house green. You're not going to get away from every environmental toxin. We're not going to get away from all of that, okay? This is not about running away from living in a box and running away from environmental toxins. This is for educational purposes and for your knowing and for your understanding. And this is not a fear-mongering video or videos either. This is incredibly amazing because it goes back to how Jesus is our rich soil in us. You know, he is the best doctor that you could ever have. He is the best physician that you could ever have. He is the best teacher, doctor, lawyer, father that you could ever have in this whole entire world. He is. And he's never going to leave nor forsake you. Wherever you're going, whatever you're dealing with, whatever is happening with you, But God is so amazing to even bring about this to his people. Like, he wants the best. He really does want the best for you. He really does want the best for you. I understand we can't get away from everything. The other day I drank out of some water bottles, okay? We're not going to get away from everything, guys. There's people on the streets that don't even have a bed, a pillow, and a house to lay in. Okay, so they're having to lay by trash. They're having to, they'd be so thankful to have a water bottle. They'd be so thankful to have a McDonald's hamburger. So this is also not about, oh my gosh, if you do these things, da 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 da. But what I'm saying is, if you have the means, you can help people. You can give them, instead of a water bottle, maybe you can grab a glass bottle for them, or a cup that they could reuse and wash, or whatever's, So, yes, America, the America that we live in, we're very blessed here. We're very blessed here. And so it starts in your mind. And so when you wake up, this is what I want to end this video with, because I'm I can talk about this for hours and hours. But when you woke up this morning, or if you're listening to this and it's at night, go to bed with this on your mind, or wake up with this on your mind. When you think of a grateful thought, there's no room in your mind for anything else. So this goes back to Philippians. I'll pull up Philippians. I thought I almost pressed stop, but it says, this is Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So yes, we're living in the biggest environmental assault humanity has ever seen, but we can educate ourselves and think on the good things and the just things and the pure things and praiseworthy, and praise the Lord through it all. Okay, that you are still alive. If you're listening to this video, you are still alive. You are still living. You are still breathing. You are still moving in your every being. So God is not done with you, and he wants to shine his light through you, and he wants to use you, and he loves you so madly. And as I'm sitting on this porch, go outside. I would encourage you even to make the changes of just going for a walk. Go outside and sit in the sun for about 10 minutes. Vitamin D levels help it helps your body to detoxify. It helps you to breathe. It helps you to think. It helps you to to understand and to move and to go and to do. It is bigger than what we could even imagine, and it all goes back to the Lord Jesus. Everything goes back to God. And everything in your life was for a reason that you had to endure. But while we're still here, God says to keep busy, work with our hands and mind our business and do our things and make a difference. And God is the difference in us. And that's what we're called to do. We're not called to just sit down and worry and have doubts and have fears and have troubles all of our days. We're called to stand, so that God can stand in us and direct us and move us and create in us and multiply in us. It's a beautiful thing, because God made us to fellowship with Him. He wanted fellowship. Okay, so what does Satan do? He comes to destroy fellowship, guys. He comes to destroy fellowship. He doesn't want people to be connected, even though we're connected always in the Spirit. He doesn't want people to be connected and to be loved and to be to help one another. He wants people to be cold and locked up somewhere and feel down on ourselves. We're not called for that. While we're waiting, we don't know when the Lord's going to come, but while we're here, let's do it now. Let's do the work of the Lord now, It's beautiful. It's a beautiful blessing that we a lot of times take for granted. And I'm including myself. I used to fight scriptures. That's not healthy. Do you know that fighting scriptures is not healthy? That's a stressful situation. We all have done it before, okay? I'm not pinpointing anyone. I'm just saying, even Satan had us at one point trying to fight scriptures. No. And you'd think that it'd be a good thing. No, it's not. Paul never fought scriptures. Paul stated scriptures and moved on. He stated scriptures and moved on. Point blank, period. And he had his own alignments. So while we're still living, breathing, and moving in our every being, God wants to do something in you, child. And I think it's so beautiful. But I'd like to come on, and I really would like to figure out how to come on and video chat with my face live. I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. And maybe we can talk about this more, because just like it's not talked about with abuse in the church or with mental illness in the church, the greatest assault humanity has ever seen is not being talked about either. Okay. There's people who feel alone out there, and I'm here to say you're not alone. You're not alone. I'm going to fight this good fight. And we're going to continue this thing, because God is good. God is the one that's going to continue it. But as long as we are here, and as long as I have a voice, I'm going to continue to speak, and I'm going to continue to walk, and I'm going to continue to fight, and we're going to continue to spread the gospel wherever we go. And the greatest thing is love, and that comes from God, the God in you. And loving is telling the truth, whether anyone gets offended. And it's also because you are loved. God is love. So